This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 20th day of October in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. As the fallout continues across the Caribbean over the questionable results of the CXC exams this year, a review by the regional examination body has found that many students were left ungraded because of the late and in some cases non-submission of those school-based assessments by their teachers. Education Minister Priya Manik-Chan today said it appears as though some teachers were negligent in not submitting the SBAs on time or failing to submit them at all. This year, CXC altered its Caribbean secondary examinations by not including a long paper, but requiring the submission of SBAs for every student. Usually, only a sample of the SBAs are submitted to form part of the final results. The Education Minister said she has received some explanations from CXC.
Frankly, our schools, our education system made serious mistakes that must not ever happen again. Of these 20 schools that had ungraded marks that went ungraded, most of them were because we, our teachers, and our central ministry failed in making sure those SBAs reached CXC or reached them correctly. So it was not the students' fault, it was the way it was delivered and submitted, and that will not happen again. So we have to be very clear on processes going forward.
Some teachers had complained about the move by CXC to request scanned copies of all of the SBAs in the height of the pandemic when many schools were already closed and lockdowns were in effect. Still, the Education Minister said moving forward, there will be more training and monitoring for teachers to ensure the problem does not reoccur.
Serious training and serious monitoring from the ministry. So as we speak, Dr. Hudson is completing, not writing, completing. And he's the Chief Education Officer who's working in collaboration with the ACO Secondary, the Exams Division, to collaborate and ensure that we have systems in place not only to ensure that the marking, there's a quality, high quality of marking that reflects accuracy so that children won't be disappointed, as well as to make sure the timetable is kept. And not when CXC, the deadline is passed, we find out that 5 schools didn't submit, thereby seriously endangering the future of their students. That's our responsibility.
Meanwhile, the Caribbean Examination Council is still reviewing the grades for other students and has made moves to address those who received the ungraded marks. Schools across the Caribbean have complained about this year's CXC results in almost all of the subject areas. Thousands of students are currently seeking reviews of their final grades. More news coming up in a moment. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
For all the Zoom hashouts and recipe tryouts, the world changed and we were right there, standing with you, always near, getting closer in so many ways, laughing together as we face these days. And because we are Caribbean, we've got a special insight that tells us there's no need to worry, world. We'll be all right.
But as a people we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
regardless of race,
class, or religion.
We are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Welcome back. Well, former Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Power and Light Company, Barra Dindial, has been rehired as a management consultant at the same power company. In a circular to senior officials of the company, it was explained that Mr. Dindial returned to the company in a new role with effect from yesterday, the 19th of October. It was also explained that several meetings were being organized for staff members to meet with him on varying issues. Dindial was relieved of his duties as GPL Chief Executive Officer in 2015, just after the new government took office. His contract had expired in 2014, but he was kept on by the PP government in the same CEO role through an unexplained understanding while still serving in the CEO's position. The GPL board at the time, which was headed by Winston Brasington, had completed a blistering assessment of Dindial's performance as CEO, pointing to his lack of management skills, poor performance on the job, disrespect for the board, and bad management. The board had recommended that there should be no renewal of his contract. It is the same Dindial that is now back as a management consultant. People's National Congress Chairperson Valda Lawrence is expected to face the court again tomorrow as the police intend to file additional charges against her in relation to allegations of fraud at the 2020 elections. Just last week, Mrs. Lawrence faced 2 counts of conspiracy to defraud in relation to the 2020 elections and the declaration of results by the Region 4 returning officer. Those results were set aside as a recount took place. The former government minister has declared her innocence of the charges, which she believes are politically motivated by the government.
And as a good citizen, I turned up with my attorney, and as I said to the officer who was in charge of questioning me, I said, I see this as harassment, nothing else but plain harassment, because it was the same questions that was asked of me the last time. And it's the same allegations all over again, and that I'm already charged for and before the court. You know, if they have 40 charges, 20 charges, 1 million, whatever, let them just put them all to us. Let's get this over with, you know, but to have us come this week and then we'll come next week is as though, you know, we have to always be in the news to see we're doing something and we have them climbing the stairs and so on. It's a waste of taxpayers' money.
Thank you, Ms. Mrs. Lawrence was requested to visit the CID headquarters again today, and it was after some questioning that she was told to report to court tomorrow to face the new charges. Election agent for the PNC reform Carol Smith was also questioned today by the police and has also been told to attend court tomorrow to face charges.
Did I see this coming? No. Because the last interview that they did, they said that that was final. And basically they were asking the same things that they asked the times before. So, you know, it's just harassment.
It is suspected that Lawrence will face a charge of forgery, while Smith will face a conspiracy charge. Both Lawrence and Smith are being represented by attorney Nigel Hughes.
Today the police interviewed both Ms. Joseph and Ms. Lawrence in that order. They put allegations that they put before. In the case of Ms. Lawrence, they accused her of forgery. In the case of Ms. Joseph, they suggested that she was conspiring with Mr. Mingo again. After that interview was concluded, they came downstairs and they were informed that they will be charged tomorrow. Well, they are to attend court tomorrow for charges that will be filed tomorrow against them. They've signed the recognizance to attend the Georgetown Magistrates Court tomorrow.
The forgery charge and the conspiracy to defraud charge are the same 2 charges that the police investigators have been using against other persons accused of being involved in the alleged electoral fraud. With Guyana still facing a racial divide, President Irfaan Ali today issued a call for each Guyanese to fight for the unification of the country. Speaking at the unveiling of special commemorative stamps to mark the 100th birth anniversary of late President Janet Jagan, President Ali acknowledged that Guyana still faces an uphill battle when it comes to tackling its race relations issues.
I want to appeal to all of Guyana in the spirit of all those who came before us, those who are still with us, that it is time we stop reflecting in an empty way. The time has come for us in this country to reflect with honorable intentions, to reflect with a passion and a commitment to achieve what those who struggled selflessly wanted to achieve. And that is the unification of our people.
The president also said as Guyana moves forward into an oil economy and unprecedented economic growth, preparations must be made by all to share in the wealth and the development that is expected.
It is the most pressing issue for us as a people. We talk a lot these days about the economic bonanza and that will come, about the great wealth that will come, about lifting our people from poverty. But today I say to you, the greatest of tasks and challenge for all of us is the unification of our people. And this does not rest on the people out there. This rests entirely on the shoulders of leaders.
Mrs. Janet Jagger was born in Chicago, USA, and grew up there into adulthood. She moved to Guyana after marrying Dr. Chetty Jagger, and together with others, they formed the People's Progressive Party. Dr. Chetty Jagger served as president from 1992 to 1997. Mrs. Jagger became president in 1997, but was forced to leave office in 1999 because of ill health. She died in 2009 at the age of 89.
We remember her at this time for her strong will, her indisputable political organizational skills, and her dedication to the ordinary man and woman. Remember her at this time because she would have been proud that democracy was protected and preserved. Time magazine, as you have heard, heralded her as one of a great rebel in human history, placing her alongside some of the world's most noteworthy but controversial women. It is no mean feat to be listed in such company.
The 4 commemorative stamps which depict iconic moments in Mrs. Jagger's political life will be available at all post offices across the country from tomorrow. Well, the Guyana Civil Defense Commission is working along with the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Authority to monitor an oil tanker that is tilted and appears to be sinking between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement, the CDC said the impact of the spill can affect other countries in the hemisphere, and the situation is being closely monitored from Guyana. According to the CDC, if the need arises, Guyana's National Oil Spill Contingency Plan will be activated, and the committee will be tasked with conducting analysis, assessments, and necessary response measures to mitigate any adverse effect on Guyana. The CDC is urging fishing and seagoing vessels to be on the lookout for any sighting of oil spills and to report any such occurrences to the Lighthouse on telephone number 226-9871. Trinidad and Tobago recently dispatched an assessment team to the area where the vessel is tilted. The government of Trinidad has been pressing the government of Venezuela for more information on the oil tanker, which is believed to have more than 1.3 million barrels of oil stored in its tank. We turn now to the aviation sector. With the uncertainty surrounding the return of Liat, local airline Trans-Guyana intends to fill the void left on the lucrative Guyana to Barbados route with regular scheduled flights. Trans-Guyana has announced that beginning on the 1st of November, it will operate 5 weekly flights between Guyana's Eugene F. Correa Airport at Ogle and Barbados' Grantley Adams Airport. According to Trans-Guyana, the flights to Barbados will facilitate travel connections with the British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, Air Canada, American Airlines, Caribbean Airlines, Inter-Caribbean, and Air Antilles. The flights will take place on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Passengers will be allowed a £50 check-in piece of luggage along with a £5 carry-on piece. Additional pieces will carry a cost, the airline said. Guyana has also announced that all passengers will be required to have a negative coronavirus PCR test completed within 72 hours of their departure for Barbados, and there is the same requirement for those flying into Guyana from Barbados. The airline said it prides itself in taking great care to protect the health and safety of its customers and staff, and its procedures will be updated regularly in keeping with the most current guidelines from the government and international agencies, with particular emphasis on controlling the risk associated with COVID-19. Guyana has been in existence since 1956. Across the region is coming up next. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
We all know a strong educational foundation is a key to successful learning. Global Technology combines award-winning curriculum with innovative technology and teacher support to help students reach their potential. Our online platform creates an engaging learning experience. Using any device, you can be a part of amazing class discussions, collaborate with others, and have access to virtual learning software. With our multiple payment methods, you will never have to leave home. Find out how Global Technology can allow you to learn anything, anywhere, at any time.
Been through it all.
But as a people, we have
weathered every storm
and risen to every challenge.
Because it is the people of Guyana
that gives it its strength.
all the people,
Regardless of race,
class, or religion.
we are one people, one strength.
And now is our time. A time to rise. Together, we rise.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Across the region right now, the government of Barbados has announced that it will pay for students to get a review of their CXC grades. Prime Minister Mia Mottley made the announcement over the weekend. For several weeks, students in Barbados joined others across the region protesting their poor CXC results, which among other things took some of them out of the running for prestigious scholarships or placements at their choice of university. In Barbados, parents, students and supporters demonstrated outside the CXC headquarters and in Bridgetown and sent correspondences to relevant parties calling for a solution. Tropical storm Epsilon has gained strength and is more organized as it continues to move over the Atlantic. The Bermuda Weather Service has issued a tropical storm watch for the island and has advised that tropical storm conditions are possible within the watch area by Thursday. Large swells generated by the tropical storm are expected to affect Bermuda for the next several days. The swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Epsilon is moving toward the north-northwest of the island near 12 miles per hour. A northwestward motion with a similar forward speed is forecast during the next couple of days. Bermuda remains on watch tonight. And finally tonight, international news. The fiancé of slain Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi has filed a lawsuit against Saudi Arabia's crown prince, accusing him of ordering the killing. The fiancé and the rights group Khashoggi, formed before his death, are pursuing Mohammed bin Salman and more than 20 others for unspecified damages. Khashoggi was killed by a team of Saudi agents during a visit to the kingdom's consulate in Istanbul, Turkey in 2018. The Crown Prince has denied ordering the killing. Khashoggi was a prominent critic of the Saudi government and had been living in self-imposed exile in the US, frequently writing for the Washington Post. In the civil lawsuit filed in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, the Turkish citizen claims personal injury and financial losses over Khashoggi's death. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.